This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Joe Biden is projected to be the next president, but with votes still being counted and President Trump refusing to concede, we get a look at what comes next.
Plus, COVID hitting a new record in Oregon, prompting the governor to put a 2-week pause on social gatherings. Our Bryant Clerkley will join us to explain how that affects you.
And giving back looks different during the pandemic, but for one school in Hillsborough, the result looks just the same. We show you how the school worked with a local organization to continue keeping kids warm this winter.
Yes, keeping warm. That is the theme of the morning. Good morning to you on this Monday. Rod has the morning off, so Joe Rainieri filling in, and it is a chilly one this morning, Joe.
Indeed it is, Nina. We're looking at readings in the mid-20s throughout many locations in the metro area. So grab the scarf, grab the mittens. You're definitely going to need them, and a heavy jacket, and spend a little more time heating up that car as you head out on your Monday morning commute. Over in Woodland, temperature of 28 degrees. For the time being, Portland International Airport is at 33 degrees, but when we started off 30 minutes ago, we were just a little bit warmer by a couple degrees. So we'll see some temperatures drop a little bit, and then the real chill in the air is over in Burns with a temperature of 16 degrees right now. Just saying that makes me a little bit on the chilly side, but by midday we'll be at 45 degrees. We stay dry the entire day, and then right around 8-9 o'clock we'll start to see return of some rain move through. We'll be looking at temperatures right around the mid to the upper 40s, and I'll talk more about what you can expect to see for your work week, as well as what you'll be running into if you travel over the mountain passes. That's just in a couple of minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Joe, thanks.
Let us be the nation that we know we can be. A nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed.
That's Joe Biden this weekend, projected to be the next president of the United States, delivering his victory speech to the nation this weekend. So after days of delays and ballot counting, which is still going on in some places, President-elect Biden declared victory after securing more than 270 electoral votes on Saturday.
And his running mate, Kamala Harris, makes history as the first woman and woman of color to become vice president-elect. Biden now faces the difficult challenge of uniting Americans. And President Trump is vowing to fight the results in court starting today. Morgan Romero is joining us live in the newsroom now with what we can expect next from both camps before Joe Biden is officially declared the 46th president of the United States. So, Morgan, you have a little lesson in civics for us.
I do, but first we should note, while Joe Biden was declared president-elect, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alaska are still counting ballots. And because he had such a slim victory in Georgia, its Secretary of State said they will do a recount. However, we may not know results of that recount until the end of the month. We can also expect the Trump campaign to request recounts in several other states where the race was so close, including Wisconsin. But according to a recent report by Fair Vote, recounts likely won't change the outcome. The election doesn't become official, though, until states and Congress check off a number of important steps. States still have to certify results, and they have laws dictating different timelines. So that gives states more time to tally up every vote, which is more helpful this year with mail-in ballots still trickling in many states. President Trump is actually fighting to disqualify those ballots in many states. His lawyers plan to head to court today to try and reverse the results of the election, alleging fraud. They're filing several lawsuits in federal and state courts around the United States, many trying to halt vote counting or disqualify ballots were already thrown out on lack of merit, and experts say other lawsuits, specifically over mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania, likely won't change the outcome of the race.
So, Morgan, let's talk a little bit more about the process. Once those lawsuits work their way through the entire system, states then certify the votes.
Yeah, that's right. And something a lot of us don't know, those results actually go to the archivist of the United States. Then the Electoral College comes into play. State presidential electors hold a vote on December 14th. Then on January 6, 2021, Congress will meet to officially count the electoral votes and declare the 46th president. And then Inauguration Day comes 2 weeks later on January 20th. Meanwhile, Biden and Harris are prepping now to hit the ground running. Today, they plan to announce their new coronavirus task force. It's their own group of experts and scientists who will advise them on the pandemic. And they're readying an action plan to go into effect, actually, on Inauguration Day.
All right, Professor Romero, I think you have a second chapter there. I learned something. Yeah, thank you, Morgan.
Me too. Yes.
Well, while still half the country voted for President Trump moments after the election was called Saturday, thousands on the other side poured into the streets around the country to celebrate Joe Biden. In Portland, dozens joined an impromptu car parade and party in Pioneer Square. In D.C., a crowd quickly gathered in Black Lives Matter Plaza. In Pennsylvania, there was pride that the votes cast there put Biden over the top, and people celebrated from the Capitol in Harrisburg to Philadelphia's City Hall.
Meanwhile, rallies popped up around the area in support of President Trump. In Salem, for instance, this group gathered around the Capitol building to protest the election results. There were some clashes with counter-protesters, and police worked to keep the groups apart. State police said they made 4 arrests on charges ranging from assault to weapons. President Trump supporters also rallying in Vancouver's Esther Short Park on Saturday. The leader of the far-right group, Patriot Prayer, reiterated much of the rhetoric from the president.
We're just here to say we want the truth. It's it. We want to look into this, and we're sick and tired of people saying there's no fraud. It's so obvious.
Earlier in the day, dozens of Trump supporters lined the side of I-5 in Vancouver waving flags. Again, there has been no evidence of widespread election fraud. But the president has been claiming that even before the ballot counting started. Later this morning on the Today Show, the leader of the Federal Election Commission explains why getting results took so long.
How the votes get tabulated sometimes depends on which votes they count first. In this election, we had a lot of vote by mail, much more than we have had in previous elections. And how the votes added up and how the votes shifted over time depended on whether that particular jurisdiction was counting the mail-in votes first or the in-person votes first.
And you can watch that full interview on the Today Show right after sunrise.
All right, now the latest on COVID-19, because Oregon's governor is clamping down again. This weekend, we inched closer to 1,000 new cases a day, with Saturday bringing in 988. It's a new record. KGW's Brian Clerkley joining us live with details on the new restrictions that will start for some counties, Bryant, on Wednesday.
Good morning, Nina, and that is right. Wednesday is when these new restrictions go into place, and they'll be in place until November 25th. And right now there's 5 counties in this restriction area, and Multnomah is one of them. The other counties include Malheur, Marion, Jackson, and Umatilla. On Friday, the state saw 770 new cases. Saturday, 988, which was the record for the highest single-day number. And Sunday, Oregon reported 874 new cases. The 2-week pause is being placed in counties where the case rate is 200 per 100,000 people over a 2-week period, or more than 60 cases over a 2-week period for counties with less than 300,000 people. Some of the measures include reducing maximum restaurant capacity to 50 people, reducing other indoor activity maximum capacity to 50 people, like gyms, museums, and bowling alleys, limiting social gatherings to your household or no more than 6 people, and pausing long-term care facility visits.
The virus can very quickly snowball out of control. We're seeing that in real time, and certainly lives are at stake.
Clackamas County is not on the list yet, but they will figure out if they'll have to adhere to these restrictions today. Back to you guys.
All right, Bryant Clerkley live for us. Thank you. Meanwhile, this month, school districts in Clark County will welcome back kindergartners for in-person learning. For some, including Battleground, Camas, and Washougal, that starts today. The students will be in small groups of 10 or less. They'll have to wear masks and practice social distancing, and stricter cleaning protocols will also be in place.
Kindergarten is really difficult to teach over a Zoom screen. The age of young learners, their attention span, and they're learning such valuable skills in the classroom and with in-person interaction, that the decision was made that it was in the best interest of the students and that it was safe.
This applies to kindergarten students only. The state has not made any decisions regarding in-person education for other grade levels yet.
Now to an update this morning on the search for a plane that went down in Tillamook County. The Coast Guard says crews have suspended their search. They believe the pilot crashed his small plane into the ocean near Cape Falcon. The search started Saturday around 4 in the afternoon, but crews say they haven't found the man, his plane, or any sign of a crash. Stay tuned because we will continue to update you as we learn anything else.
All right, let's get to a bit of sports news now. The Portland Timbers went into the weekend hoping to come out on top of the Western Conference. Instead, we got third place in the West. After capping off their regular season with a tie against Los Angeles 1-1. This will be the fourth year in a row Portland is in the playoffs. The Timbers play FC Dallas in the first match of the playoffs at Providence Park. No date or time has been set.
It is 10 minutes after the hour. You might want to take a little extra time if you have to get up and go to work this morning. You'll need the ice scraper, getting a little of the frost off the windshield, Joe.
Exactly right. It's a very chilly start to your Monday morning, and probably one of the colder mornings we've seen so far this month. We'll have to go back to just see what the coldest morning is so far this fall. And I know, of course, late last month we saw temperatures dip in the mid-20s. We're basically looking at again this morning. Here's a live look now from our Rose City camera. We're looking at a temperature of 33 degrees, you guys, and a little bit of some areas of fog that's starting to roll through as well. Dew points at 31 degrees, so we're not too far from starting to see some foggy conditions kind of develop once the temperature and the dew point reach that same number. So as we look at the future cast, we are going to be seeing mostly cloudy skies basically from beginning to end today, but rain will start to filter in, I'd say by 8:30, 9 o'clock this evening, and you'll notice that blue. We are going to be looking at a bit of some snowfall moving through the Oregon Cascades. Light amounts tonight. When I say light amounts, I say anywhere from about 2 to 5, and then the numbers really start to add up. By the end of tomorrow, we could be looking at 7 to 9 inches of snow. So the point being is, yeah, we're seeing some cold air move through, and be prepared for winter driving, for be driving over the Oregon Cascades. But as we look at the forecast for today, the day planner, low 30s to start things off on your Monday morning. By midday, we'll be at 45 degrees with a daytime high of 47, and we'll start to see some showers moving late tonight and especially into tomorrow. Dry for Veterans Day on Wednesday, and we'll be seeing return of rain moving in by late this week. Back to you guys.
All right, Joe, thank you. Still ahead for us here at 5 a.m. It's been such a tough time for businesses, so every success should be celebrated.
A Portland woman not only launched a new business in the middle of this pandemic, her brand new juice shop has also helped people in Portland live better lives, and even people in the broader community. It's pretty incredible. We'll explain how she's doing it next.
Plus, as the temperatures dip, an effort continues to keep every child warm this winter. How a Hillsborough area coat drive is adapting to the pandemic and the big boost they just got to help.